He's just upset that a little girl bested him. We're into BDSM. Please look away. Yo, all we need is the little boy to say, "Can you please do it?" And she'll be like, "Absolutely, my love." What if he actually cracked his head? Oh shit, I thought he was gonna crack his head. I think he was gonna stab himself. Despite me thinking this was a high possibility something like this would happen with Monica covering up Casey's crime, I'm still shocked that they went the direction because of how realistically they handled everything, especially with the concept of obviously shit happened and someone's gonna get the blame, and that just so happened to be my favorite boy. And we got a lot to talk about this week. This was a bold episode, and I honestly think the boldness is going to pay off long term. Make sure you drop a like though, show your support, subscribe if you're new around. Your Patreon is, of course, to catch those full live reactions. You want to help fund the channel. So, there's so much I want to talk about. It's kind of insane. This legitimately felt like I watched 3 episodes this week. There was a ridiculous amount of content. Here's the thing. I said it last week. As disappointed as I was about the betrayal, I felt like there was an out. Now, I had so many comments that I was convinced source material readers were trying to gaslight me. Like, you know, those people, I totally don't read the manga, or I totally don't read the light novel. But yeah, you're clearly wrong because of my totally anime-only theory. So I thought that's what was happening. No, apparently those people just didn't see what I saw. So there was stuff like, oh, her hands are tied. We can't try to, you know, say she's just a normal person. I'm saying you guys don't have enough of imagination. We're into BDSM play. We like a little rope play. Use your imagination, Baka. But on a serious note, I felt like there could be a way. Because the show pretty much started off with an attempted assassination on a prince's life, and we didn't kill the person. We just expelled their ass, right? So there was ways to do it. And the idea of essentially saying, hey, and I think they handled it in the most realistic way. It wasn't just pure emotion. It was like, if we reveal someone on the side you primarily support, first Prince and his mother, even if they're not okay with political assassinations, plenty of, you know, supporters of them might be, and obviously it will paint second Prince in a higher light. And he's like, I didn't know you played like that. That's actually pretty impressive. I like that it's a very believable way of being like, okay, it's worth covering up. For her, that's her friend. Even if Casey isn't her friend it's a one-side friendship, that's how she feels. But for him, why would he do it? He's not the type of guy who would just do it from the goodness of his heart. There has to be a logical reason to do so, and the logical reason was presented. Great. Covered up brilliantly. And I know there's going to be debate. People will say, no, she really was friends with her, this, that, and the third. I don't think so. I think there was an element that she hung on to. That she was like, you know, at times she really did enjoy being with Monica, which is why she's, you know, apologized for not being able to take her on the horseback riding. But at the end of the day, I think she was there for her mission, and she was using Monica and people, but over time started to develop feelings of friendship. But it never fully blossomed, and that's why she desperately is like, forget about me, or hate me, do whatever. And if they keep in touch somehow, whether through pen pals or the like, I think something could blossom on both sides, but I felt bad for her, 100%. And the thing that's great is while, yes, they didn't know there was a political assassination attempt, it doesn't change the fact that there was an accident. All that could have killed someone. The wood coming down, and the fact that it ends up being my boy. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned it on YouTube, because I mention it on Patreon all the time. The Vice President and Monica is like my favorite ship. Like, I never do that. Like, I'm usually always like, oh, the main thing that, you know, Prince and Monica, like, that would be the main thing you would support, right? Because that's how the author always goes. I don't know, man. The Vice President just, I love him and her. They're just great together. The fact that, like, obviously he's not going to get expelled for an accident. But obviously he's getting punished and glares because, like, you know, it fell on him. Because if you're going to cover up a crime, if political assassination and the like, you know, isn't being revealed, that looks like not really careful, and it's sad, man, it is. And I love how she legitimately feels heartbroken at the end. Like, I can't tell you what really happened, and you shouldn't feel guilty. I should, because here's the thing. I love our autistic little cinnamon roll Monica, but she is to blame, because she decided she wanted to cover for her, and in doing so, someone else gets, you know, in trouble in the process. Even if it's not the most end of the world thing, It's really great writing, and it's a bold choice to go for. Like, it's bolder than I was expecting, because if anything, her protecting her made sense to me, and I thought was a highly likely possibility. But the idea of seeing the repercussions of covering for someone was something I wasn't expecting, and I like that she actually feels guilt. I also really like what they did at the end. So, back when we did the chess match and this dude castled her, there was a lot of people. They're like, how could he? That's so rude. And maybe it's just because I have a lot of autistic people in my life, but I knew damn well she would not be upset over that. Because she's the type of person who she would rather learn things fast than have to be like, oh, you played 10 games without showing me what castling is? That's annoying. You should have showed me it at the beginning, because then I could have done it to you. Like, she legitimately has no issues with that. If anything, she's like, I'd rather you show me all the tricks right away so I can learn fast. For him, of course, he feels like scummy because that's the nice thing to do. You know, a player needs to have honor. You can't do these crazy moves on a newbie. But she's like, bitch, do it. I want to learn. And I thought it was so great because it ties into this flashback where we get to see about, you know, the prince and the fact that he got skewered when he was a kid, man. And it was his fault. I love that there's this parallel. Monica, it was her fault that Vice President gets blamed. It's his fault for this boy climbing the tree and encouraging him to and not taking him seriously at first. Like, I love the idea that we get to see how similar Monica is to him, but also, like, this parallel play of each of them feeling guilty. And just, I think it's a beautiful scene overall. Like, there's just so much of that, and I really felt like this was probably the most impressive episode of the show because of how well it did for characterization and just overall understanding characters' mentalities a lot more than surface level. Because there's a lot I've assumed about characters. Like, I assumed this guy was going to be upset and, you know, feel guilty about the castling thing. But I was 100% convinced Monica was not going to care in the slightest. And she'd be like, I'm good. And I like seeing it, of course, but I like that they tied it into a deeper backstory than just, I feel guilty because I have morals when I play chess, you know what I mean? Just a fantastic episode. And I think people are going to severely underestimate just how good the writing was with that whole Monica Casey scene. And I'm sure there's going to be people who will be like, you know, why would she defend someone who betrayed her, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing, if it hasn't happened yet, there will be, everyone goes through characterization in their own life, you know, this character development where you will care for someone more than they care for you. And even knowing that they wouldn't give you the same in return, because if you reverse roles, do you really think Casey would have done the same thing for Monica? No. And Monica knows that, but she still cares. And that is the most human thing they could have done for her character. And comparing her interactions in episode 1 to now episode 9 is a night and day difference. And honestly, this show is amazing. It is awesome. Let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not your Patreon. Is of course to catch my full live reactions and other exclusives like, hey, I give video shoutouts to all my patrons. So today we got Shadow Cyber Demon, Fate, Snake Eater 7, Zeshram, Direct Lord, Dylan Miles, Jonas Pierre, Stephen Thomas, and we also have MJ Minions. I appreciate the support. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.